Hello, everyone. Welcome to Design Unconventionally. This is a design based podcast where we try to unravel the mysteries of the design with some veterans of the field. Today, we have with us one of the most decorated individuals of the field. He holds a graduate diploma in applied arts from College of Arts and Crafts, Patna University, a postgraduate diploma in applied arts from MSU Baroda, Diploma in Human Resource Management from Ahmedabad Management Association, Diploma in Marketing Management from Nirma University, and a PhD from GLS Institute of Design. He was a principal designer of Faculty of Communication Design at NID Ahmedabad, principal designer and head of faculty development program at NID Ahmedabad, and the member of the jury for selection of the Indian rupee symbol. He has authored the book Ideating Identities and Symbols NID 1961 to 2014, A Visual Journey. We have with us Dr. Anil Sinha today. He is currently the director of GLS Institute of Design Ahmedabad and the Faculty of Graphic Design. Today in this session we talked about how was his experience in the design and design education for over 50 years and what is his word of advice to the next generation of designers. I hope you enjoy the show tonight with Dr. Anil Sinha. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the podcast.
Yes.
We are really glad to have you on the podcast today. Uh, Starting off, do you think everyone is a designer?
Uh, that's a bit difficult to accept that everyone is a designer, but there is a designer in everyone. Not everyone is a designer, but there is a designer in everyone because there are certain way which the designers think the same way other people also think. Maybe we as a designer thinks for others, other people they think for themselves, but the thinking process may remains very similar. Yes.
So, sir, what exactly is the difference in a non designer and a designer? Like, as you said, everyone is a designer some way or the other, but what makes a designer different from other people?
Other people they understand their need, they don't care for the others. Whereas the designers they empathize with the people for whom they are designing it. They understand their need better. They understand what will suit to them, what will not suit to them. And accordingly, they will try and design it for them and convince them with the logic that how and why it will look good on you and how it will make your life better.
Okay, sir. So you are a veteran of this field. You're in this field since many years, in the design field and in the design education field. So, sir, as a designer, how do you think intuition, ethics, and morals go hand in hand with each other in this field?
Intuition is a process of thinking. I always talk to my students when I take the classes. There are two ways of thinking. There are many ways of thinking, but mostly we can divide into two ways: is the logical thinking and intuitive thinking. Logical thinking might be applied by many others, but intuition is completely your individual. And I follow the intuitive route, and after doing the design, then I look for what was the logic, how I can convince, how I can actually sell it to the people, and how I can make the manufacturer to understand my language so that he will manufacture it properly, and how it can reach out to the user for whom I have designed. So intuitive thinking, logically applying it, and then that will make you to actually create better. As far as ethics is concerned, ethics is 100%. Without ethics, whatever you are designing, to my mind, it will not make any sense and it will not let you grow in your field. So if you are ethically not correct, that is not right. So any designer have to have the ethics first, but there are certain things which is the design ethics. There are certain things which is the people's ethics, the humans ethics, and you have to abide by both the ethics to become a successful designer.
And sir, you talked about intuitions and ethics. Sir, do in any case or anyhow morals come into picture?
Moral is part of you. You are not without moral. Yes. There is a moral in that. Yes. But many a times my personal moral uh, might come in the way of my design ethics. Then I'll compromise on my personal moral and do the design ethics things because I have lived my almost around 49 years of my life with the design, and that's become part of me. So one can say my intuitive thinking is with the ethics and as the designer. So that's how I work.
Sir, if each design was given an unlimited time to transform, would the changes be satisfying?
In design, there are many stages. One is the ideation stage. If the minute that happens with me in particularly, or maybe must be happening to many other people also. So the minute the problem will come to you, you will get one intuitive direction. But many times intuition will give you the direction, but not the form and the color and the solution. So after getting the intuitive or conceptual idea, you will have to turn into the visual form. And that whether that visual form is communicating to the person for whom you are designing, that you will have to check. Design is not something which is only created. Design is developed more than the created. Once it's developed, then you once it's created, then you need to develop it from all the angles: the cost effectiveness, time effectiveness, effectiveness, plus logical reasoning behind it, plus also you have to see how it will stand out and be different from the other people, and your client or your user group must feel wow about the design which you have done, and that might take some time. In today's time, we are not just responsible to design anything, but we also have to see that how it will be maintained. Once it's lived its life, then how it will be discarded or disposed. So the entire journey of the design is end with the start to a start only, and not a start to end. It's a complete circle. If you do the complete circle, then ethically, intuitively, and as a responsible designer, you will do your best.
Sir, as a designer or in any creative field, if we get unlimited time or much more time than required to complete a project or any assignment or anything, we tend to overdo stuff, as in we tend to add in more details, we experiment a lot, and sometimes that does not end well. So, does a saturation point come in the design process?
Uh, in design process, there is no place for the saturation. But what happens is at one particular time you will realize that okay, I have done my best, and that's the place where you should stop it. Because endless time doesn't mean that your design will be better. But the same design, if you are taking it, say, after 6 months or after a year, you might change it. And I'm not giving just as a word to explain, but today when I look back into my books, which I designed, all the collection of my identities are there in that book. When I look back into the identity, I said, oh, this is the work which I have done. If I'll get chance to redo it, I might do it better, because with the time your understanding changes, your visual aesthetics changes. There are many changes which comes. Even the surrounding changes, even the design language for the society changes, even the client's need changes, the application changes. All that you will start thinking, and that all comes as a package to you. It's not a step by step. So intuitively, when you will think in totality. You will not think in isolation. And the totality thinking comes once. Then, if you are working again on that, then maybe you will get some different idea. Third time, you will get some third idea. But I feel more than three ideas, it means you are just repeating it. You know, because because I have designed the identity and the signage and all that kind of, there are many stuff in that. So There I feel there is a process of doing it, and I take always the cultural route in designing anything. So in the cultural route, what is important is the people, place, product, and the process. If I'll consider these four things, automatically one new thing will come. So first time if I'm attacking through the people, then I'll get one idea. Second time I attacking through the place, then I'll get a different idea. Third time I'll attack it through the process, I'll get a third idea. But that's the end. Otherwise, you will start taking the reference, you will start taking some clue, you will start discussing with the people, all that kind of things. To me, after so many years, I feel it's not a right practice.
So you talked about the four P's: people, place, product,
And the process.
and the process. So,
Yes.
sir, in marketing, as in business marketing, there are also four principles or four P's of marketing.
That the one which is there in the marketing is the price.
Yes, sir. Price,
I don't
product.
consider price while designing it.
Okay, sir.
I'll consider while suppose if the client has to execute, price can be reduced and increased. It suppose if something is taking 2 months for a designer to design. If I design the same thing in 1 month, the price will be half. But just because I'm getting that 1 month idea, so I might quote it more. Design will cost more, but the product might cost less.
Yes.
So there is a direct link between the time consumed and the person who is designing it. So that's how the things goes. Yes.
So this field, or in fact any creative field, are supposed to be very subjective. Everyone has their different opinions and different point of views. So, sir, at what point in your life did you feel like you find your own way of designing?
Okay, I say my approach are always different. I belong to a very remote place, one can say. And but now it's not remote anymore. But I don't feel that I have a style. But many people say, Anil, when we look at your symbol, there is a certain things which definitely comes. And then I realize, yes, yeah, and that is the balance in the identity. All my identity, you will find a balance. All my identity, you will find a very different visual strength. And most of my identities are directly connected to the culture. So I always, even in my institute here in GLS Institute of Design, I have said a tagline is that design is all about connecting and relating. Culture connects, tradition conforms, and technology empower. And that's the tagline which I've given to the institute, and we are following that. And I definitely believe in that. I definitely believe in that. Hope I have answered your questions. Yes.
Uh, this field is very competitive and subjective, as I said earlier. So, how do you think, as in, say, you're in this field since many years? You worked with NID, you developed the faculty program in NID, and now you're here. So, how do you think your process stands out from other?
Design is a process. Design is a process. And by understanding the need or the brief from the client, I'll have to evolve that process. Today, many people talk about the design thinking and design thinking, but nothing can be done without thinking. Thinking is a part and parcel of the human being. We are called human being just because we have the ability and the power to think and connect with the problem which we are taking that as hand. So thinking is a process. Design is also a process. So if you follow the process, you will get the, suppose if I am following a process, you are also following a process, or other people are also following the process will remains the same, and that's where the intuition differentiate between one to other and other to other. So that's how I take the intuitive route and create my design. And other thing is that I don't feel ever that I'm stuck here. Never. It has never come till now. It has never come to my life. But at one or two places it has come that my liking and my logically thinking, and the good for the client was something else, and the client was asking for something else. There I have refused that I'll not do for you. And I have taken my work back, and we have given the money back to the institute. Certain things which you are convinced and you are sure, I, to me, I think one should not compromise. But that's not the message for the younger one, because the life is there. It will be too early for the younger one to say no to the things. But there's a whole lot of things which is there in today's time, which was not there in our time. And I practice mostly through the institute. You know, so my situation was different than the individual who are actually practicing in the field. So different individual will have to think logically and take their own intuitive decision how to take the project, how to do the project, how to deliver the project, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Many aspiring design students or maybe newcomers are not that good at hand sketching, and they feel endangered seeing the competition around. They feel that they're not good at sketching, and most of them believe that traditional art, which is hand drawn, is not needed as such as compared to the modern mediums of design, which is digital mediums mostly. So, how will you motivate those students?
Uh, See, first thing is if you are joining a field which is your own choice, I don't believe in motivating others. I can only lead others. So I have to practice it, and then by that, if they can learn, it's fine. Because whenever any students are coming to me, sir, this is how I am doing this. So I draw it and show it to them. So instead of 100 words, I draw in 3 lines and 3 lines and communicate. So it's a drawing is a tool to communicate. Today only when the pictogram students have come, I said, see the size and the proportion and the gesture and the postures are very, very important. However good your idea is, if not executed well, it will not work. But technology, make use of the technology or don't become the slave of the technology. So what I suggest is go ask somebody to post it for you, click it, come to your room, dress it out, and it will be completely in the proportion. So use drawing as a tool for communication, not the drawing is a design. Drawing is important for the design, but drawing is not the design. With the drawing, it will make us to communicate better to anybody or everybody, because the visual language have a power to communicate even to the layman. That's how we have grown in our life. I think that's yes.
Sir, you're in design education since many years. You've come across many students. So, in this modern era, students depend sometimes on platforms such as Google, Pinterest, or many other web sources to take inspirations or references for their designs. And sometimes most of them suffer from a creative block. They can't come up with anything completely new. So, what would you like to say to them?
I feel they are disconnected with themselves or their roots. That's how they look for the other route to follow it. So my suggestion to them is first you look inward and then try to come outward. If you are finding it difficult, then go to the source. Source means we as a human being, our source is our parents. Go to the parents. If parents are not in a position to tell you, then go to their source. And if their source is also not capable, then go to their source. It means go back to your cultural root and you will get the solution.
Okay, sir. So
Is
culture
it is
drives
it
the process.
convincing?
Yes, sir, it is. Culture drives the process because
Absolutely, yeah.
India has a diverse culture. Everyone has
Yes,
a diverse culture.
absolutely. Not everyone. India is, India is a diverse culture. But in that diversity, there is something which is unity and diversity. That's the Nehru has given that. So in that, you will have to train your eyes to see that connecting thread. If you can catch that thread, you will go very far. The
Yes, sir.
thread connection is important. Yes.
Sir, in this generation of designers or the upcoming generation of designers, they don't want to be restricted, or don't want to be labeled of any discipline, as in no one wants to be labeled as a graphic designer. Now I've come across some of my colleagues and my senior students who are graphic design students, but they like to do DFM work as well, they like to do product work as well, they want to work interdisciplinary, and which is gonna be even increased in the future. So what is your take on that multidisciplinary?
I think it's a very nice that they want to do everything, but they will have to also understand not everything they can do it by themselves. So today it's a thinking is one thing, executing is another thing, and executing with the class is the third thing. So if you want to compromise on, you can do anything. But suppose when I was working on the Discovery of India exposition project, I thought that okay, my Dholavira site must have a film. So I did some clicking, I made the visual scripting, and then I had to hire one video filmmaker to make that film for me, because the filming is not only the visual, it has to have the script as well. It has to have the dialogues as well. So all that it's a bit difficult for one individual to do. I'm not saying it's impossible. There are people who have the capacity to do everything, but you will not be able to do everything with the class which you want to do it. So design is a collaborative work and not individual work, because it will also be used by the different people. So if you are aligning with the different experts, maybe your quality of work will be improved. But having this concept of that, okay, I want to do product also, I want to do this also, that also, but there are many discipline which is not which cannot be bound in the discipline frames. Like there is nothing like packaging as a discipline. There is an institute of packaging, Indian Institute of Packaging in Bombay, but in the packaging itself there are two aspects. One is the visual, other is the structural. So at there they do the structural, whereas in the design institute we teach the graphical or the communication aspect. But one solution or one fine design needs many a kind of approach. So even for that example, okay, as a graphic designer, when I was doing my coin work, I was not expert of the material, you know. So for metallurgy, I had to take help of the metallurgy people. I cannot say that okay, I as a designer will do that design. So for that, any design, when the scope of the design or the reach of the design or the user of the design will vary, then you will have to collaborate with the different experts to make your design foolproof and better acceptable. Yes.
So today's industry, the design industry, is very competitive. And what do you think the industry sees in the students while offering them placements or hiring them? And what can fill in the gap between the students and the industry? What change in the education?
Uh, I don't actually see, frankly speaking, that anything which the students are lacking or the industry is lacking. They both are actually complementing each other. And I'll not name that what students are lacking or what the industry is lacking, because both are doing with a different purpose. That purpose, communication is the gap. Communication is the gap. But what is happening in industry is more focused on the final outcome, whereas the design students are trained to think in terms of the process. So we teach them in the process orientation. Industry doesn't have that much of time to process the process, and that's where the gap is. So, and that's the reason why we have that internship in the initial stage, where they are supposed to go to the industry and get the feel of the industry, the working style of the industry, the need of the industry, the people in the industry, all that they are getting exposed to. So after internship, when they are coming, their projects are coming differently. When they are going for their graduation project to the industry, they are contributing more, and that's how the things are going actually hand in hand. When students goes to the industry, what they look for, the industry's approach. When the industry coming to the students, they are looking for the fresh approach. So if you are going with the fixed mind that I'm going to serve the industry, I have to be on that language, then you are not needed. Your freshness in your thinking is what the industry look for, and industry need to behave with the students bit differently as a mature one, that you are actually making them industry ready. So one institute cannot make the industry ready. What we can do is the design ready students. Industry will have to mold them, fold them, and actually improve upon them to make it good for them. That's how I see the industry and the institution relation. Yes.
So talking about, as in you have an expertise in identities, ideating. There is a book by you, ideating identities. So which identity, according to you, is the most satisfying for you? For you, not for the client. Which is the one you like the most?
Uh, there are many which I like the most. There are many which I like the most. But if I'll say, uh, when I was approached by government of Bihar to do the Bihar tourism identity, I thought, my God, the people are thinking, oh, Bihar jana hai. And if I have to convince people looking at my identity, you go to Bihar as a tourist, that was a tough task. But 97, 98, I have taken a self-initiated research project, which was in search of cultural symbols. And that my location was Bihar. So I knew Bihar from in and out. And as because I am from Bihar, so the language, the people, the location, everything was familiar to me. So I could manage to reach in the core of Bihar. And that's how I feel that identity which I did for the Bihar tourism, it's very satisfying to me as one. Second one is I designed the identity for Gujarat High Court. So once I did it, then like uh, I had considered Sudarshan Dheer as my guru. I never have studied under him, neither I had met him. But looking at his work, I was always thinking that one day will come when I'll also start designing like Dheer Sahib. And then after seeing the Gujarat High Court symbol, Dheer Sahib called me, अनिल तूने क्या किया है यार, सब लोग उसकी बात कर रहे हैं. आई फेल्ट माय गॉड, अगर गुरु ऐसा इसको अप्रिशिएट कर रहे हैं तो then there is something. Then I started looking back, analyzing it, and then I realized that yes, it has come out something very different. But the best part is whether Bihar tourism or the Gujarat High Court, both have come from the cultural root only. So then my philosophy of culture connects actually conforms to me. So whenever I think, even today, I think through the culture. So that's the message which I'd like to give is whatever. And the beauty of that culture is it's not it's not with the state, it's not with the religion, it's not with the caste, it's with you, which comes from your family. This society, caste, and the practices, all that actually conforms it, add into it, but the culture comes from your family. So that is why when the parents comes and tells me that, okay, what we should do this, I said, give her the best possible happy time when she is there or he is there with you. So at least they will be open to you, they will be free to you, they will share everything with you. If you are dedicated there, you will be dedicated to your work also. If the dedication is there with your work, nobody can stop your success.
What and how did you think of coming up with the faculty development program?
Faculty development program. Uh, in 82, when I completed my master's from Baroda, then my guru in Baroda was Jairam Patel. He said, अनिल NID जाएगा? मैंने बोला जाएगा. अब बोलो अच्छा है मेरे लिए तो जाएगा. And other thing is in 81 when I came to Ahmedabad to receive one award in the Gujarat Lalit Kala Academy. So my friends, they all said that okay, let's go to NID. We went to NID gate, and just because I was not knowing anybody in the NID, I was refused entry. I could not go and visit that. So I went back, and then I thought whenever I'll get a chance to work in NID, I'll take it. So in 82, I joined NID, uh, took a project from NID on a contract basis. That contract was for 6 months under the chairmanship of Visual Communication Department of NID, and I did work on the Goa map, Goa tourist map. Once that project was over, then one another map design project came, which was the Industrial Glimpses of India for the Prime Minister's house. And day and night we worked on that project because that was 1 week time we had to deliver it. And those days we were printing it screen printing. So in the night around 12 o'clock, when the screen printing was done, all the printers and everybody from the institute has gone, then we saw that अरे यार इसमें name of that particular place is missing because the screen got filled and it could not be printed. So the project head was in the panic. I said, don't worry, just wait. And I took a pen and paint, brush and paint, and I painted that 12-point type with the hand. And then I said, okay, now you see which one is the original, you know. And he could not make out. So he said, Anil, are you interested in joining faculty development program? I said, I don't mind. So from the contract, I joined 2 years for faculty development program in NID, that is 83-84, and finished successfully. And after that, I was offered the faculty position. So I started my journey in NID as a trainee in the faculty development program. So when towards the end of my tenure at NID, when this opportunity came, I asked the director, if you will give me the faculty development program, I'll run it happily and to best of my ability. So that project was given to me, and I could not complete because before that I retired from there. In 2014, the faculty development program started, and then 2015 I retired. So they gave me 2 years extension. I took it also. And then this opportunity came. I thought, something which you have earned, something somebody has given. Somebody has given means you have to be always under his obligation. I said, if I can earn something, why should be under the obligation? Yeah. So I resigned and joined here in the GLS Institute of Design as a director. So again, it's a confirmation of the complete circle from faculty trainee to the faculty trainer, and that's how I completed my journey. Yes. And many of my own training are here. Akif sir was my student. Even Bhumika was my student, Bhumika Kherde, and Mukhtiar was my student. So all these people were my student. So that's not a problem. Even today, means here also I have proposed. But initial year when I joined here, I took all the fresh graduate, and every week we were talking and discussing. Even today, whenever there is something, we do discuss with anybody or everybody that how to take it, what to do and what not to do. This time I took your color course because I didn't like the previous year's color course. So I said, just criticizing is not enough. You will have to give example how to do it. And the first thing I talk to you in the class is first year you have done the color theory. You have done the color application. Now your course will be focusing on the thing with the color. And that's how I concluded this course. And that course Even the students or the entire institute, when you have put up that show, people were appreciative about it. So I think if you take a chance, if you take something very seriously, you have the space to do it. So think differently, think collectively, and you can do it.
Yes. Sir, talking about design principles,
Design principles.
they
Huh?
are very important for the design theory to every to a designer of any discipline.
Yes,
In what regards do you hold the design principles in your design process?
more than 100%. More than 100%. Principles are not taught in isolation. No, principles are coming with the fundamentals or the elements of design. If you understand the elements of design and if you know with the principle how you can exploit it, you will be able to create it. It's a final year girl who is trying to teach design fundamentals through the textile, through the crafts, through the crafts of Kutch. When she talked about the craft of Kutch, I said, what are the craft which is there in that? Then I said, the craft means you will have to take the very common, popular, and good craft of Kutch. So she has taken the kalamkari, she has taken the kalamkari, she has taken the pottery, she has also taken the beadwork, and then all that, if you analyze it, you will start seeing the basic, the fundamentals, like the elements of design, and those elements of designs are connected with each other and making it as a product with the principles of design. If you understand that well, you can do everything. And even the most successful designers, when they are trying to convince or logically present to somebody, they will use the words which knowingly, unknowingly, it's coming from the principles of design only. So principles and the fundamental must be very clear to you. And it's there in everything. It's there in everything. Like suppose if I'm looking at this girl here, look at her नेकलेस है नहीं, नेकलेस या फिर नेकलेस बोलो या जो भी बोलो, एक चेन है, चेन के बीच में एक पेंडेंट है. अब पेंडेंट के पास में उसमें जो वी कट का नेक है, that V neck is going well with the form of the necklace or the chain, and that's how it's supporting it, and the pendant with the point of the V cut, it's getting aligned. And that alignment is coming from the nose. So vertical alignment, and that's the balance. You know. So balance and the unity are the core of the fundamentals of design. And what I did is I started analyzing it, perceiving it in anything or everything, whatever I am seeing, and connecting it with the fundamentals of design. By that, you will develop an eye to connect and relate. And that's how the connecting and relating is important in the design world. Sorry. But it's a very event.
Yes.
You know, अगर ये गोल गला होता या हाई नेक होता तो ये ब्यूटी नहीं आती. And that's how she is only in the second year. She is not a designer yet, but there is a design in her.
Yes.
And that's where the design is there in each one of us. Maybe if he is practicing design, then he will be a designer. Otherwise, that design will dominate him, direct him, dictate him, and make him to select and reject certain things.
Yes, sir.
And that's there from the very beginning with all human beings.
So, sir, we talked about principles, and earlier we talked about intuitions. So, in your design process, are intuitions and the principles related
Intuitions
to?
are thinking, yeah. Principles are the elements.
No, sir. As in, you have an intuition,
हाँ.
which might be contradicting with the principles.
नहीं, it will never happen. It will never happen. The intuition is your thinking process, and the elements and the principles are how to use that elements in a particular manner to communicate or make your intuition visible. So it's not a two different things. It's the two sides of one person. You know, मैं कर सकता हूँ तो सोच भी सकता हूँ ना. सोचना इंट्यूटिव हो गया, करना हमारा स्किल हो गया, लेकिन जो एलिमेंट्स है दैट इज द फंडामेंटल्स.
Sir, you are in the design field and you have experienced the design education as well. So, what do you think the design industry and the field requires, and how the design education should further revolutionize or change or improve?
The change will not come with the force. Change is part of our life, you know. So flow with the flow which is there. So suppose if you need a pant, then I'll have to give you a pant. Then my principle, my ethics, my design, all that will not work. So the earlier it was called as a need base, so that's still valid. The need base. It's a different thing. The need has increased. Need has turned into the desire, and the desire has taken back into again that need. So what was desire for my parents, that's my need, and my son, that's again my desire or his need. So it's all desire and needs keeps on changing with the time and with the your buying power, purchasing power, affordability, all that kind of things are there into that. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but still, the need is there. Need is there.
Sir, you mentioned that you are connected with design since almost 50 years.
1973, I started my journey in the field of design. In fact, in 1973, I joined Faculty of Fine Arts, Patna. But and 76, my the support system expired. So I had to practice and study. And that's how I call myself that I'm practicing from that many years. Otherwise, the hardcore practicing of design since 83. Since 83. But 10 years back, it was at the time of education, that time also I was earning and doing things.
So, sir, you have given 50 years of your life to design.
अभी थोड़ा बाकी है.
What till now has design given back to you, or what according to you is the highest reward
Everything, yeah.
you have got from
I'm addressing you people through the podcast. That itself is a reward.
Yes.
Not everybody will get that chance.
Yes.
Not everybody will get that chance. So that's a reward is not in terms of only the monetary and name and fame and all that, but everything included. If your philosophy is accepted, if you are happy, everything end with the happiness. End of the day, it's happiness and fulfillment. I am a content person here. I enjoy doing it, so I am doing it. That's the core.
Thank you so much,
Done?
sir, for
Good.
your words of wisdom. Our listeners and we ourselves, it helped us a lot, and we will further improve ourselves and apply what you said in our design processes. Thank you so much, sir.